What's up, you guys? AvriLR32 here, bringing you guys my regional deck profile from the Kississmme regional just yesterday. I'm really disappointed in myself and how I did. I felt that I could have done a whole lot better. I started out 1-0, feeling pretty good, obviously. And then I lose 2 in a row. Just to go through my matchups real quick. Round 1, I played against Gadgets, which was a really, really close game. I'll get into how I won later. But yeah, and then round 2, I played against Mermel and I lost. That guy actually ended up, as far as I know, going undefeated, maybe losing 1 or 2 near the end. Because I know one guy went undefeated throughout the whole thing. And then he won the regional with Karakuri Girgia. So yeah. What else was there? Round 3 I played against Karakuri Girgia, which I also lost to. So I was like, WTF to that. And then I went on a rampage. I was mad. I told my dad, because he didn't play in the event, I was like, I'm not going 1-4. That is not happening today. And sure enough, I played hard, and I won 4 in a row, and I was 5-2. I was feeling really good. Actually, no. I was... Yeah, 5-2. And then... going into round 8, I was playing against Karakuri Girgia, and he won only because he had the Trap Sun. I would have won if it weren't for that. And looking back on it, at the start of Game 3, I had a chance to make a rank 4, and he had 4 back row and a set monster, which I think ended up being an accelerator, and he set it as a bluff, as an armor. And if I could have made Extinction Knight, I may have won. I don't know. But I think Extinction Knight would have made me win that game. So I may have been able to go out 6-2 or 6-3. But even if I did go 6-3, I would have been in 71st, because the guy I lost to round 9 was using some sort of Light Sworn Dragon Ruler with Eclipse Wyvern deck thing or whatever. And he 2-0'd me easily. Apparently he said I can OTK turn 1 70% of the time. I don't know if he was BSing or what, but the deck seemed good. And I was just PO'd, and I was just like, whatever. So I went 5-4, really disappointed in myself. Really wanted to try and get my invite. It sucks to say that I still don't have my invite, even though I've been playing this game since Teledad format. So, I put in all this time into testing, and it obviously didn't work out. So I'm definitely dropping the deck. I never stick with one deck for a long time. I'm going to go to testing Boojins now, because I picked up what I needed for the deck at the regional. And then I made my money back pretty much, because I sold a bunch of stuff to the vendors. Made like $32.50 from the vendors, and I bought a Yamato for $30, and I already pulled 2. So anyways, let's get into the deck list here. I'll get into the rest of my matchups near the end of the video. But to start off the deck, we have, hopefully that's showing up well, yeah. Triple Brow, obvious. Triple Snow, obvious. Triple Grapha. If you're not running 3 of each of these, you're most likely doing something wrong. And 1 beige. I tested a beige. Oh, also sorry if the camera's like kind of angled weird. It's because like my tripod is really retarded. 1 beige. I tested 2. 2 could be inconsistent. I tested Gagex Scapegoat's build that he showed me. And I also tested the top 4 YCS Brazil build. And I really liked them both. So I pretty much made a combination of both. And it worked out pretty well. I liked the 1 beige. The 1 beige did what it needed to do. It was there when I just needed to have a free normal summon to get out a Grapha, or even pitch it with dealings or drag down or gates to get a free special summon. So it did its job. And then for the remainder of the monsters, we have double tour guide, obvious, and double card D. This was something that I went over with my friend Nick Thomas. Shout out to you if you're watching this. But yeah, like the 2 tour guides was something from the Brazil build signed by Sonics Team Symmetry. But yeah, the 2 tour guides is something I got from the Brazil build. It's an easy rank 3. It does its job. The cars. I saw it in the Brazil build where the guy was running 2 drag downs and 3 Ds. And I was talking with my friend Nick Thomas, and I was like, well, what should I take out for the 1 drag down, because I want to run 3. And he's like, try a car. So I tried 2 car, and it did its job. I really have mixed feelings about car right now. The thing is that if you open with car, and you're going first with Dark World, and you really don't have any other plays, it's good. If you draw it late game, it's pretty much ass. Like, if I'm going against an OTK-based deck, and I have card D turn 1, and then, like, if I'm going against Heretic, and then I find out once they play their first monster, which is like a Nebthet usually or something, then I'm like, oh, damn, like, you have the combo, you have game. Which is why I was really tempted to run Ghost Trick Jack Frost, because that's a fiend. So I can pitch it with gates. And also, whenever you would try and attack me directly, I can special summon Jack Frost face down and flip your attacking monster into face down defense mode. So I'm thinking I should have sided that instead of 2 Falsidinas, but it's whatever. Anyway, that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. We have the 1 Foolish Burial, because Graph is a card, and also if you need to dump a Fiend into your grave just to get Gates to work, then that's also a play. I did that a couple times. 2 MSTs, I side decked the 3rd, it did its job. Triple Hoban, because we do Hoban in this deck. This is a combo-based deck, so you have the excuse to Hoban. Because gaining that 1,000, because your opponent gained 1,000 really doesn't mean anything with 3,000, with a potential 3,000 Grapha. 3 drag down, I already explained this. I took out a card for the 3rd drag down because it's too good. And then 3 dealings. I know 1 super, 2 rare. I don't know what happened to my ulti. Hush up. It was funny because when I was going against Gadgets, game 3, I had a face-up Zenmains on board with no Xyz materials, and he had a yellow Gadget on board. And I knew that he had a cannon and a yellow Gadget in his hand because I saw his hand. So I top deck into a Dealings. I'm like, this Dealings better work, because I was just top decking. So I activate Dealings, he draws into a Red Ox and he ditches it, and I rip into a Beige, and I have a Grapha in grave. So I pitch the Beige, I get out Beige, bounce it back for Grapha, I use Gates, banish a Fiend, discard Beige, draw into a Tour Guide, play out the Beige. By this point I have Grapha, Zenmains, and Beige. I rip into the Tour Guide, I summon it, and then I play Browse, switch Zenmains to attack mode, and that was 8,200 for game. Everything boosted except for the Zenmains, so really nice play and great way to take game 3 from Gadgets. I was not losing to Gadgets. Triple Gates, 1 Super, 2's Ultra, don't complain. It did its job. And then for the traps, we have 1 Deck Debbie and 1 Eradicator. Like I said, this is a combination of the Brazil build and Gage's build. Because Gage's build was a straight-up turbo build. Silver and Gold are okay cards, but I just didn't find the reason to run them. Like, the 1 Deck Debbie and the 1 Eradicator you think may be dead whenever you're not running Silver and Gold, but it really wasn't. It did its job with against Spellbooks round 3. I just Eradicator called spells. Didn't really hit him too hard, but I got rid of his Citadel and his Star Hall, and I think he had like a Spellbook of Wisdom in his hand that was dead. And then he just ended up searching from Star Hall for like a Blue Boy or something. And then Deck Debbie, of course, is just Deck Debbie. Nothing really to mention there. 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, 1 Compulse. Solemn Warning is a bitch to deal with, just saying. Like, all of these cards are so hard to deal with. Like against the Spellbook guy, game 2, I end-phase compulsed him. Against the Karakuri Girga guy that I played in round 4, I end-phase compulsed his armor. Against the Evil Swarm guy, I played round 7, I think it was, round 6 or round 7? No, because round 6 I had a no-show. Round 7, which is what made me 4-2. And then round 7, I'm going against Evil Swarm. And so I go first, I make my move, and I set like 3 back row. No, I'm sorry. I set 4 back row and I set a Brow. And then he goes into a first turn Extinction Knight. He special summons Mandragora. He normal summons Caster, overlays into an Extinction Knight, and I Solemn Warning. He's like, okay. I was like, get your $90 card on out of here. And then we have 2 Mind Crush. This was a tech that my buddy Greg, shout out to you Greg, mentioned to me. I didn't like the 2 skill drain in the main because it conflicted with Tour Guide, so I tried the Mind Crush and it definitely did its job against Karakuri and Girga and all that fun stuff. And like I said, we're Hobanning, so you gotta run Triple Reckless. It's the stones. And then for the extra deck, Leviathan, which I never made, but it was there. The only time I made 2 Zenmains was round 8 against Karakuri Girga, which he just Solemn Warning the second one. But it's good to have 2. I didn't like 2 Levier. I liked 1, and I never even made it. 1 Tempo because it's better than Acid Golem. When I did go against the Gadget guy, I wish that I had Acid Golem, because I could have just done 3,000, which I would have known I would have game then. But even so, I still had the 8,200. Diamond Dyer, never made it. Also, Tempo, I never made. I did have a chance to make a rank 4, and I did want to do Key Beetle, because then I could activate Skill Drain and then use Key Beetle to target, and I was like, wait a minute, that's just going to negate its effect, and none of my other rank 4s are really going to help me against a set monster, which I thought was an armor, which was actually an accelerator and 4 back row. And yeah, Diamond Dyer just wasn't going to cut it. Cowboy, never made it. Maestroke, never made it. Utopia, never made it. Pearl, never made it. I did make this once. Felgrin. I made it against a Spellbook guy at the start of game 3. I did Dealings. I pitched Grapha, because he went first. I pitched Grapha to pop like a monster or something. And I end up drawing into a Foolish Barrel. I Foolish Barrel for another Grapha. Like, I did some plays, and then I had Beige on board, which was my special summon, bounced it back for Grapha, because I had Gates on board, so I was able to special summon out Beige by banishing a Fiend. Special summon out Beige, bounced it back for Grapha, played Foolish for another Grapha, normal summon Beige, bounced it back for Grapha, overlaid turn 1 into a Felgrin, and whenever I was telling my friends, I was telling them, and I was like, after I made this Felgrin turn 1, I said, go. So, yeah, he could not get over this Felgrin. I didn't even have to detach Xyz material from it. It was just an easy out for his fate. And then her Heliopolis I never made. Puppet Grinder never made. I almost wanted to put in Attack Hound Dragon, but I figured Puppet Grinder would be better. And Chimera Tech, which I never made. Psyduck. I don't know why I did not pull this out ahead of time, but regardless. The Brazil build did use 2 Overworks, but yeah. Oh my god, 10 minutes already. The Brazil build used 2 Overworks. I decided to go with 2 Deck Devies. And I think one build was also using Mistake. I think it was his build. I don't remember. But I remember Gage was using Max Seas, and I did Fossil Dyna from the Brazil build. I liked Fossil Dyna a lot. It shut down the Evil Swarm player. I had a Graph, and I kept on poking with it game 2. And I ended up going main phase 2, summon Fossil Dyna, and he couldn't do anything. So it's just such a good shutdown card. Then we got Triple Rivalry. I side decked this once against the last round Light Sworn guy, which it didn't even help, because then he was like, I can just rely on one element. I was like, well, screw this shit. MST, because it's good. 2 Smog, because it's Dark World. Triple Skill Drain, because it's Dark World. 2 Full House, because Geargi's a bitch. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole side. I'm sorry, I had other stuff in here. I thought I had more of a side. But yeah, so final thoughts on the deck. It didn't get me my top, so I'm not pleased with it, obviously. If it would have gotten me my top, I would be loving this deck to death right now. But yeah, that's Dark Worlds. It's not a tier 1 deck, so, but regardless, it did its job, I suppose. It didn't get me my invite, though, so I'm disappointed in it, and I'm disappointed in myself for not getting my invite. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you did a like or favorite, we appreciate it. Sorry this was so long. I really like to do in-depth deck profiles. Let me know if you want that to be a series on my channel where I take a deck and I just go really in-depth with it. That'd be kind of a cool series to do, I think. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the deck in the comments below. And rate, comment, and most importantly, subscribe.